Hello everyone, I'm Norbert Williams, right here on Sky FM 93.1. Join me Monday to Friday, 6 a.m. to 8 a.m. for the morning edition of Keeping It Real. And on Tuesdays and Fridays, Minerva Ward joining me from Canada, right near the North Pole. Although it's cold over there, it's gonna be hot in here. Don't you forget, Monday to Friday, 6 a.m. to 8 a.m. on GVD TV and streaming live on Facebook. Don't you miss it.
Hello, welcome to the program Champagne in the Morning with yours truly, your favorite guy, Champagne. Join me here every morning from 8 a.m. until 12 noon. We're also live on GVD channel 115 and live stream on the internet. Join me as we discuss all of the current events of our beautiful country and around the world. You too could get into the program by calling in 456-0931 or 485-0931. Thank you for tuning in. Join me 8 a.m. to 12 noon.
Join the United Workers' Party and the Flubbo family for another in the series of live Flubbo forums this Sunday, 13th June at 7 p.m. Join us live on DBS, Hot FM, GVD TV, Sky Radio, Prime Minister's Facebook page, United Workers' Party Facebook page. See you there.
Working out together as one. Rise, we don't rise. Something restoring the pride. It's yours and it's mine. Let's do this together. Preserve for the future. Restoring the pride. It's yours and it's mine. Let's do this together. Preserve for the future. Yeah, sweet Beatles, nothing like you. So iconic on this beautiful island. Yeah, we adore you, so we will protect you, so your beauty can be seen by all eyes.
We understood the importance of paying salaries and keeping activities, because if all the other sectors were being affected, you at least wanted government to be able to brace it up so there would be some money in circulation. In the absence of tourism being open, we have these projects, all being funded through the World Bank, through CDB, and meanwhile, truck drivers are being hired, quarries are staying open, and now you're employing people. So in essence, it became a massive economic stimulus program. These projects are people-centric projects, and they make a double impact. The impact that they create is, one, immediate jobs and economic activity in your economy, as well as now strengthening your economy so that when you come out of COVID, that you're actually a much stronger country.
I'm here this morning witnessing a milestone for St. Jude's. This is a new hospital. This is a hospital that's going to take the South for the next 50, 60 years. And that's the ambition that we have for the South. And today we're witnessing putting up of the panels, which is a new technology to adapt to climate change, resistant and more efficiency with our air conditioning system. So I'm so proud for the people in the South to have this world-class hospital here that will be delivered very soon. Let's keep working.
Ojo Labs continues its successful artificial intelligence center operation that was established in 2017. The global pandemic simply forced the company to adopt a new work-from-home model. The company employs over 420 people and is actively seeking additional persons as part of its expansion plans. We've witnessed similar positivity in the business processing operations subsector. Not only were the 550 employees retained by ITEL BPO, but an additional 400 jobs are expected now that the retrofit of the second factory shell is near completion. Even more remarkable, Mr. Speaker, is the plans for a third site that would increase the overall company workforce to 1,200 persons. Between Ojo and ITEL BPO, we are seeing the injection of over $4.5 million in salaries a month in the South. In times of crisis, leadership matters. It's about being decisive, yet adaptable. It's about being able to make quick, hard, but calculated decisions. From the onset of this crisis, Mr. Speaker, this government has taken its leadership role seriously. We took seemingly unpopular decisions to close our borders and institute a state of emergency. We took the decision to open OKEU and convert Victoria Hospital into a respiratory hospital despite the severe financial implications. We were at the forefront of efforts to establish appropriate protocols that would enable our borders to be open and our economic drivers to have life again. Ojo Labs continues its successful artificial intelligence center operation that was established in 2017. The global pandemic simply forced the company to adopt a new work-from-home model. The company employs over 420 people and is actively seeking additional persons as part of its expansion plans. We've witnessed similar positivity in the business processing operations subsector. Not only were the 550 employees retained by ITEL BPO, but an additional 400 jobs are expected now that the retrofit of the second factory shell is near completion. Even more remarkable, Mr. Speaker, is the plans for a third site that would increase the overall company workforce to 1,200 persons. Between Ojo and ITEL BPO, we are seeing the injection of over $4.5 million in salaries a month in the South.
It's very interesting that the opposition has attempted to label us as this spendthrift government. And then when you see all these activities taking place, people have fallen into believing that that might be the possibility, that that's really what's happening. So it's interesting to note that the opposition, when they were in government, were increasing the debt of the country by 9% per year. So every year, they added 9 percentage points to the total amount of debt. So in 5 years, they increased the national debt of the country by 45%. Unemployment was at 25%. Okay, very minimal economic growth. The GDP was rebased. Pre being rebased, it was a negative growth rate. Post it being rebased, showed that there was a 3.2% average in growth rate. The government has put in additional money into the St. Lucia Development Bank to help small businesses get off the ground. I'm very excited about this new food park that we're opening up in Gros Islet, and the goal is to replicate that all throughout the island. What we're doing on Sandy Beach in terms of subdividing the land, what we've done in terms of Lafargue and also in Beauchamp and in Forestier and in Choc, all of these places, and putting housing developments in place, where you have now smaller contractors now coming up, because we've offered incentives. Any contractor that can get the job to do 5 homes, we allow the building material to come in duty free. And he also gets those incentives. So the bank benefits because the bank is lending money on our higher value place because it's duty free. The homeowner is benefiting because he's getting a much more expensive house cheaper. And the contractor is benefiting because now they have 4 contracts. The government has put in additional money into the St. Lucia Development Bank to help small businesses get off the ground. I'm very excited about this new food park that we're opening up in Gros Islet, and the goal is to replicate that all throughout the island. What we're doing on Sandy Beach in terms of subdividing the land, what we've done in terms of Lafargue and also in Beauchamp and in Forestier and in Choc, all of these places, and putting housing developments in place, where you have now smaller contractors now coming up, because we've offered incentives. Any contractor that can get the job to do 5 homes, we allow the building material to come in duty free. And he also gets those incentives. So the bank benefits because the bank is lending money on our higher value place because it's duty free. The homeowner is benefiting because he's getting a much more expensive house cheaper. And the contractor is benefiting because now they have 4 contracts.
I'm blessed. I was born in the land of the West, me stand proud and big up my chest. St. Lucia, it's a real vibe, it's real nice. Do that girl up, it's sing back and chill. Because we are a resilient nation. We can and we will, it is.
Hello everyone, I'm Norbert Williams, right here on Sky FM 93.1. Join me Monday to Friday, 6 a.m. to 8 a.m. for the morning edition of Keeping It Real. And on Tuesdays and Fridays, Minerva Ward joining me from Canada, right near the North Pole. Although it's cold over there, it's gonna be hot in here. Don't you forget, Monday to Friday, 6 a.m. to 8 a.m. on GVD TV and streaming live on Facebook. Don't you miss it.
Hello, welcome to the program Champagne in the Morning with yours truly, your favorite guy, Champagne. Join me here every morning from 8 a.m. until 12 noon. We're also live on GVD channel 115 and live stream on the internet. Join me as we discuss all of the current events of our beautiful country and around the world. You too could get into the program by calling in 456-0931 or 485-0931. Thank you for tuning in. Join me 8 a.m. to 12 noon.
Join the United Workers' Party and the Flubble.
Hello, welcome to the program Something in the Morning with yours truly, your favorite guy, Something. Join me here every
Good afternoon, St. Lucia, to our listeners and our viewers. I'd like to welcome you to our second episode of Connected, where it's a United Youth program that allows the young people to call in, speak on things that are pertinent, things that they've been thinking about, and just give our perspective as young people as we go ahead. Okay. So first off, June continues to be an amazing month. We celebrated actually on the 6th of June our 5th year anniversary of the United Workers' Party administration winning the 2016 elections. So we would like to say congratulations to all of our team, our supporters, and our hard party workers who have continued to show progress over these few years. Also, their continuous work towards the constituencies, the ministries, and the people of St. Lucia. 5 more years, no change required. Okay, so last Saturday, we had our co-host here who had a motivational quote that she wanted to give you, and she wanted to remind everyone that it is important to get your daily dose of motivation just as you do for a shower. And we're going to continue with that notion with another follow-up motivation for you guys out there. I want to make sure I get this one right because it is very important, especially for our young persons right now. So our quote for today. Today is your opportunity to build the tomorrow that you want. And I'll say that again. Today is your opportunity to build the tomorrow that you want. I want everybody to be able to take that in. First, I'll read the description that we have, but I also want to be able to give my thoughts on it as well. The time to build is always the present to impact the future. Acting on the opportunities you have today will brighten your future. Young people, there is no time like now. It is impossible to reap tomorrow what has not been sown today. The choices we make in the present time should reflect what we want for our future. And then we can take a look at our party, our United Workers' Party, and our government under the leadership of the Honorable Alan Chastney, and how they've implemented various projects that benefit St. Lucia and its people on the whole. So let us not forget our education sector, because every school as well as the students and staff have been benefiting from the upgrades and the rehabilitation. And this is what we talk about when we say building today a new St. Lucia for tomorrow. Let's also consider the roads being built that bring up our road code up to a standard of international level. Look at how our tourism and agriculture industry have combined to grow in the midst of a pandemic. Now, we speak to young persons all the time, and I'm sure we out here and we're wondering. Investment is always important, and young people say, I don't have anything to invest in. People saying I should save my money. People saying I should find lucrative things to put my money into so that I can benefit. But what a lot of people don't realize is that the easiest and best investment you can make is towards yourself. And that's what's important. If you decide that you want a life 5 to 10 years from now to be successful, to be happy, to be in a good environment, you're not going to make the decisions to allow that to happen in 5 or 10 years. You have to make these decisions today. You have to put things in place that's necessary today. You have to do different things, put yourself in a circumstance, put yourself in a situation that allows you to plant a seed that's going to help you grow and be successful in the next 5 years. Which is why I can go back to our quote and say today is your opportunity to build a tomorrow that you want. It's really that simple. Understand what you want to do and start doing what you need to do from now. It even ties back to our party. We didn't get to reap the rewards that we're reaping today because of anything that they did yesterday or last week. They started 5 years ago, and today we are still reaping these benefits. It's also lets us know that, hey, we need to put things in place this year, today, so that in the next 5 years we can continue reaping these benefits. And the best way you can do that is by voting back in our current administration under the wonderful representation of Honorable Alan Chastney. We say it, but we need to really understand what it means. 5 more years, no changes required. Now we have a packed schedule for you today. We have interviewees that have come in from more or less the north of the island, but they want to come in and speak to you and tell you exactly what's been going on and exactly what has been happening in their constituency, and also the future plans that they're going to be providing to you. I don't want to take too much away from them. So we're going to step out and go to a commercial break right now, but on our way back, we'll be introducing our first sets of guests for you, St. Lucia. I hope that you are ready to be connected.
As a young lady, I didn't get the opportunity of having my CXCs done or even finishing school. I had my son at a young age. I was still at school. I entered Leon Hill Secondary. And today I am a part of Minister's Learning Academy. Right now I am in class going to sit my first CXC in maths, and I'm so excited that she gave me this opportunity. I'm telling you, Synergy is a place of opportunity, of love and blessings.
The Synergy Learning Academy, I think, is such an important program that we are currently running. With the Synergy Learning Academy, it is an opportunity for the young and not so young people of Castries Central to continue their education.
Synergy helps build, I would say, our most important resource, which is our human resource, which is our person.
I learned a little bit more about myself. I learned more about respecting others, different issues that may arise in daily life and how to go about dealing with it.
I got a chance to meet mentors, other people who had other experiences, real life experiences, explain stuff to me, stuff I didn't really understand, you know, and just give me a little more clarity on it altogether, so I could put that into practice.
We currently have in our Synergy Learning Academy math CXC classes, which run twice a week on Tuesdays and Thursdays.
I didn't graduate from high school. I wrote some CXCs some years ago, but I never got a chance to do math, or should I say I never did math. And now, through Synergy, I'm getting an opportunity to do math right now, math CXC. Going for that one, no matter what.
Our Synergy Learning Academy provides an opportunity for persons who want to do online studies or further their education. We support them and assist them in finding the online courses that are accredited and also providing bursaries to support them.
I didn't finish my schooling, but after a time I completed my CXC. I was incarcerated for 8 years, and that's where I did my schooling. That's where I completed my CXC. I came out of there hoping that with what I achieved in there, I would get employment, but that wasn't the case. It was quite difficult for me coming back into society. I met a friend who referred me to the Synergy program, so I went to register. And after I registered to the Synergy program, I started getting help to push myself forward. I must say, I never regretted the day I came to this program, because right now I'm doing an online course and it's what I wanted to do. I'm doing what I want to do. Actually, I like computers, and I was asked what I like and I stated what was my interest, and that's the direction I was pushed in.
We have been able to certify and train persons in plumbing, auto mechanics, and general maintenance, and that was done with collaboration with the South Louis Community College.
I actually got the opportunity to do two courses. I did auto tech part of it, I think that was very enjoyable because auto is my passion, that's my hobby, and I am just about finishing my general maintenance.
Farmer Field School, where our farmers were trained and certified. That was done through the collaboration of the Ministry of Agriculture and also the Taiwanese Mission in St. Lucia.
I went to secondary school. I went to Cyrus Central Secondary School, but Synergy gave me another chance to, to turn the page.
Many residents of Castries Central are able to work hard. They have the skills, they have the ability, but they don't have the certification. And the Synergy Learning Academy is committed to ensuring that persons who need and want to further their education have an opportunity to be supported in doing so.
Welcome back to Connected. And we're back to Connected. I want to apologize. We seem to be having some technical difficulties here in studio. Okay, we should be alright now. So thank you listeners and callers for staying in with us. Right now in front of me I have two lovely ladies from the constituency of Castries Central, and they came here to bless us with the information that they have what's being to introduce themselves and to big up their constituency. I'm pretty sure they're a familiar face to you. So without further ado, I'd like to introduce our two guests. Please go ahead and introduce yourselves.
Oh, hello, good afternoon. My name is Ronetta Billy and I'm the office manager for the Castries Central constituency office.
Hi, good day. My name is Chantal Julian and I work as a community support worker with Synergy.
Okay. So we have two quite obviously knowledgeable persons here of our constituency. I mean the constituency that some may say we fall in right now in studio. But a lot of people don't know about the boundaries and just how big and how massive and how populous your constituency is. So I want you all to just give us an idea of a few of the smaller communities within the constituency and the major boundary communities as well.
Well, we have communities like Lakudu, that's not so famous, it's a very small community. We have Foligua, we have Rose Hill, Mondidor, Wapatat. We also have places as far as VG, some parts of VG, that is within Castries Central. La Panse, we have Sanssouci. You could go ahead and say some more.
We have Wilton's Yard. We also have Lower Mondidor, Wapatat. There is also the Castries Central area where we have Brazil Street. And we also have areas like Georgeville. And also we have the CDC areas that's on, sorry.
No, go ahead. I mean, we're all friends here. So.
Darling Road. Yes.
I actually grew up in Lastic Hill, so I'm very familiar. Well, I shouldn't say very because y'all might outshine me, but I'm slightly familiar with the Castries Central area.
Okay.
I mean, in 2006, the Honorable Sarah Flood-Bowbray won her seat. I want you guys to give me an idea from your perspective. What has been her focus since doing so?
Well, the Minister, Honorable Sarah Flood-Bowbray, she said it in her own words that her intention is to know her constituents by name.
How she know my name?
I know that is a big thing to say because it's not like she's Jesus. So she wouldn't know them by name unless she deploys a certain strategy. And that is what she has done ever since being in power. She's found a way where she can reach persons at their point of need. That is what, basically that's what she's saying. Mm-hmm. To be able to meet persons at their point of need, get to know them on a personal level. It's not just through visitations or saying hi or walking through the community, mm-hmm. but putting programs in place where she could be able to touch their lives in a very impactful manner.
Okay. I mean that's very ambitious of her, but I have 100% confidence in her as well as the persons around her, and I'm pretty sure they're going to make sure that her mandate is accomplished.
Indeed.
I mean, as young people, because when you hear Castries Central, there are some places that stand out.
Indeed,
and it's not for the older persons, it's mainly about the younger persons, the people who quote unquote they say come from the destroyed areas.
Yes, and the stigmatized areas, yes.
And that's such a strong word that people don't understand how much it burns. To tell someone because of an area you come from, not much is expected of them. Yeah. It honestly takes a good person to reach out to these people, a good person to represent these people, yes. And let
someone
them know that
heart.
Exactly. I want to know who you are by name. I want to know how I could help you and what I could do for you. Come to me. You can speak to me. You can relate to me, and we can take it from there. We can take our steps forward.
That is correct.
So I want you to give me an idea. I mean, I'm pretty sure she's put things in place where she wants to implement her goals, but she's done a lot for the young persons, especially in her constituency of Castries Central. What have been some of the programs? How have the young people been responding to it? What has been what has been going on for her specifically when it comes to young persons?
Okay, I will allow my colleague to get into the first set of the programs, but just before she do so, Minister has her office, the Honorable Sarah Fulbouber. She has a constituency office in the heart of Castries Central, and it's open Monday to Thursday, 9 to 4 o'clock. And we're there. She has competent people. She has persons with a heart who believe in reaching out to individuals, not just from where we are, but also leaving the office and doing some community visitations. So persons can come and visit, and we listen, we sit, we listen to their issues. There are forms, different forms that we could take the information, and basically we're the eyes and ears for the minister, because she may not be able to be there all the time, but she has persons there every single day from 9 o'clock to 4 o'clock, and we give the information. So some persons may say, I'm not seeing her, but we do listen and we pass on the information. She's quite aware of every single face that walks into the office.
That's good. I mean, she would be as strong as her team. So I can understand, and I know she, as a representative, it cannot be an easy job. Some people say it's an impossible job to satisfy everybody. So you need people that you can trust around you.
That is correct.
You need people who are competent in what they do, like you said, and have people who actually want to do it.
Correct.
Not someone who's doing it because of the opportunity, but someone who wants to do it. That's the person who's going to go the extra mile. That's the person who's going to take time on their Saturday to come and sit down and talk to me. So I'm happy to have those persons in front of me. But yes, please go ahead with some of the programs.
So some of the programs, we have the Learning Academy, where we offer CXC maths classes. That's at the O-level certificate, and it accommodates 6 persons at a time. We also have the online certificate courses, where persons can go online and choose a course of their choice. Also, the culinary training with Peru. You get to do the course with the Peru chefs. It also accommodates 15 persons. And in the future, Minister is looking to get into the IT program, because we have persons who are not privy to IT. They are not certified in just the basic IT programs. So she's looking forward to implementing that program for persons to get certified in it, and also other subjects or subject areas that's in demand.
So you find it's not just academical, you have technical, you have hands-on, you have, and that's good. That's good. I mean, Castries Central in itself is a very it's a very diversified area, so you're going to have people of all traits and all trials. That I'm just glad that we're looking out for all of them.
Yes. And some of those programs, in collaboration with Sir Arthur Lewis Community College and the University Bursary Assistance, we also have the laptops where Minister provide students with devices to be able to get their work done, because we know right now we're facing a pandemic, and there are students, their parents are unemployed right now. So that way, in order to to assist those parents, we have the laptop program, and also purchases of school supplies, book bursary, and uniforms. So we have all those programs in place. And also at Pathway, ongoing, we have personal development training. So you can come in, yes, for everyone, especially the youth. Yes. Because our youths are out there and they're hungry, and sometimes they don't know where to turn. So you could come to Pathway and you will
Pathway is the name of the program.
So it's the name of the program, and it's also the name that we give to the center that we use for the personal development training.
Okay.
Everything that we do, personal development is at the heart of it. We've been in situations where we've assisted persons to get a job and they cannot keep the job. Why? Because there are certain soft skills that they lack. And that is why personal development is important. It's just helping the individuals who are stigmatized, those who are outcast, those who may not have gotten a chance in society, helping them to discover a better version of themselves and just to accept that, hey, you know what, I could make a difference. And once they believe in themselves, then you could give them other programs, other opportunities, and they would capitalize on it because of the personal development that has already taken place.
Okay.
And that is why it's the heart of what we do.
That's good, that's good. I mean, before, when we used to say Castries Central, everybody think of, well, we're building courts. We're giving them some place to play football and play.
It's not about that anymore.
I mean, we understand that because of our developing our developing island, we have to be competitive.
Indeed,
People are looking for work, people are looking for jobs, and if we're not preparing, especially our young persons, with these skills and these qualifications, then we're really doing them an injustice, because all the football, and that it's unfortunate. I mean, I know there are some very skilled people in Castries Central when it comes to sports. We want to make sure we arming these people properly to put them out there in the world, and so that they can be successful for themselves.
Exactly. So the hard skills and the soft skills.
Exactly.
If we don't, then it's like we're throwing them out in the sea and telling them to learn to swim on your own.
And
no.
That's good. That's very good. But what levels of qualifications are we looking after? What would be the next step for these well, you can call them graduates, I guess. Because is it the case where, and I know it happens, you give somebody a level of qualification, they succeed in whatever they do, and then they don't know what to do next? Is it that they can continue to look for a job right away? Is it that there's something else that they can follow through?
Yes. So there's different levels of the personal development. We go with them all the way, right? And if they've done a certain level of certification, we would know with personal development, again, we keep record of everything, so we keep record of the progress. We would know, okay, at this certain point that this individual is, are they ready to go out there and get a job? Will they keep the job? We keep track. If we send them out to get a job or refer them to get a job, we will also be liaising with the employer, so we know their progress. If it is that they don't want to be employed, but they want to be self-employed. Right? We also provide an opportunity for them to have business support, which is another program that the minister offers. We've had a meeting already with let's say half of our applicants. Again, because of COVID protocol, we cannot have a big crowd. So half of the applicants, those who applied, from the time we started the business support. And right now, persons are getting the documentation that is necessary to open the business. Because it's not just come in and say, okay, I want to open a business, and we give you the thing to go barbecue and sell. No, we need proper structure. And that is why the minister has sought experts in the field to provide the support that is needed. So the documentation that is needed, if the business needs to be registered, if there needs to be a business plan, open bills. So right now, persons are in the process of getting these documents. So the next step would be to offer them a grant. So there are many avenues after we've allowed persons to go through the training. There are many avenues, but we don't just leave them hanging.
Like you said, you'll go all the way.
We go all the way.
That's good. That's so. It's so refreshing to hear that, because you want to know something is there. Honestly, it sounds like just now we're opening Synergy Secondary School. But it's good. I'm very happy to hear that the young persons and the constituents of Castries Central really have somebody looking out for them, and that they have things that's open and available to them. Again,
that's a tip of the iceberg that my colleague have mentioned. Synergy has like almost 15 different programs. Synergy is just the umbrella. I want you to know that.
Okay.
But under that umbrella, we have we have 15 different programs. Some, of course, there are certain things that would be needed so that we could start, and COVID has put a halt on a few of them. However, there are a lot that has been on the ground and it's been operation, and you won't hear much about it, but it has been going on.
Okay.
Let's say, for example, we have Clean, Green and Safe. Persons see cleaning the community as, hey, I want a contract, I want to go, cut grass and clean the gutters. No. Minister believes in proper structure. She believes that it goes beyond just going and clean your community. Hence, it was created a Clean, Green and Safe. And clean means better garbage disposal, better management of garbage in the community, because we know Castries Central, that was a huge issue, the garbage disposal. And of course, being the city, being one of the first points that tourists would see, we needed to have a better way of managing the garbage. Beautification, so planting flowers, planting, just making sure the environment looks beautiful, something that people would want to walk through. And the safe element, of course, is restoring the peace, because we know a lot of the communities are termed as ghettos. And the crime rate, we cannot lie, it has been very high in a lot of these well-known communities. So it's not just about cleaning and leaving it there, but with Clean, Green and Safe, leaders, persons who are known as the gang leaders, let's just call it that, right? They were given the opportunity to really step out and be a positive leader by getting persons to be on your team. So these leaders are in charge, and they have to get persons on their team, up to about 10 people, and they register their team. They have to come up with a name for their team. And now they would go into their same community, that same community that they live, and they would clean it, and that leader has the responsibility now to keep the community safe. So hence the entire thing would come together and just merge, clean, green, and safe.
Okay.
Yes.
That would be a... Oh, that's
for the youth.
program.
Yes.
Tell me more.
And we had like almost 400 applicants. Yes, and it has been ongoing, and of course funding, we need more funding for it to continue, because though it's free for persons, there is a cost attached for
That's right.
So, and it really helped the community, because we saw a lot of persons, the community leaders, step out, and we saw persons who, they just shine and they flourish, because they were always known as leaders in the community, but now they're known in a very positive manner.
Right.
Yes.
I mean, that's great. I wasn't aware of that. I mean, I heard about some of the different programs. I know there was work going on, but to hear about it in detail, it paints it in a different light that there is a lot going on. I mean, I'm pretty sure there is more. I would love for you to tell us just a few more of them. But I mean, I'm really excited and happy to hear what's going on in Castries Central. But please
I'm excited to share it always.
We also have the medical support through paid medication and also your medical bills. And we also have a program named Synergy Gold. Synergy Gold, we have 2 persons who were certified in elderly and critical care massage by the Caribbean School of Holistic Therapies in Barbados. And also we have ongoing our group of persons who go out for birthdays, who provide gifts and visitations to the elderly. And also we have hampers, vouchers, groceries, medicals we provide to the elderlies. And also persons who are wheelchair bound, we provide them with a wheelchair to be able to get to go around, so that they don't just remain just one place, it kind of be bedridden and whatnot. And also we have the hampers, which we go out on maybe sometimes during the Christmas season. We go out in the communities to those who are less fortunate, the elderlies, those who just cannot be able to do something for that time. So yes, we have those programs under the Synergy Gold.
Okay. I mean,
we also have the home care too.
Okay.
Yes.
I hear a lot of programs, and I could imagine that it's not a burden, but it can be a lot of work for those who are the caretakers, those who are participating. What's it like in terms of the people who do, not the ones receiving, but the ones who give, in terms of the size of your team, or how many persons are involved? Because what I'm hearing, it's a lot, and it's a lot of different things. It's young persons, it's elderly persons, it's disadvantaged persons.
Yes.
What's it like in terms of your team? How many, but also how driven are the young persons? Oh, we seem to be getting a call, no? Person change their mind? Okay. But yes, so how many young persons are we looking at, and what's their whole drive and goal?
Okay, so because of the structure that the Honorable Sarah Flood have put in place, it makes it easier to manage in terms of where do you put different staff at what time to do what. So of course we have a few different headquarters, though we have the central point, which is the Castries Central constituency office. That is basically our information point where persons could come in and apply and leave their information, and we pass it on to the minister so we know what support they need. However, a lot of the planning and the strategizing would happen at a different location. The minister sent out 10 community support workers, and Chantal had the privilege of being one of those. And I call it a privilege because you go beyond the call of duty. You get to meet the people who we serve right there at their homes. The community support workers don't have a hub that they stay at, or they're not in an AC office. They're out on the streets. And Chantal can tell you, you're out on the streets in the hot sun, walking in the highways, the byways, going the nooks and crannies, the whole getting dog bites, getting threatened, water being thrown out. Like, it's not an easy role.
Yes.
She could share some of her experience.
Honestly, I would say it has been a great experience for me, because if I hadn't gone out there, I would not have known of persons who have been faced with difficulties. It was just amazing and surprising to see that we actually have persons in St. Lucia who cannot afford the care, and you would see the living conditions.
Yes.
And when they would tell you their story, it's like they're actually waiting on somebody to speak to be able to let them know their concerns, how they feel, how they've been living. And I was just in awe, you know, to see that persons are actually living like that in St. Lucia. So it is a great thing that minister is actually, you know, listening, and you know, God has called her out, you know, and she has accepted the call to go out there and to see after those persons, to listen to their concerns, so we can address it, to be able to provide some assistance for them. And you know, we have persons who would tell you, well, get out of the way, you know, they would try to send things after you, but at the end of the day, sometimes some of those persons, they appear to be very aggressive, but when we remain calm and we speak to them, then they kind of calm down, and they receive us much better. Sometimes today, or if we go today, they don't receive us, but the following day, because of how we approach them and how we speak to them, the following day, they would be acceptable to, you know, to just allow us to come in and have a word with them. So it's been a great pleasure to go out in the communities to meet persons of different background and to learn.
And that experience that you gain in is truly invaluable. I mean, even the honorable, the honorable representative as well, when you go back with these stories, she understands the people that she's dealing with, not only the people you meet with, but also you as a person. She understands you. She understands exactly that it's not easy for that person who we're trying to help and is very defensive about it, but it's not easy for you either, because you get to experience it, you get to truly understand, and as much as you can bring that back to her and give her the idea and give her the opportunity to understand. I mean, maybe sometimes you tell her and she's like, no, I need to meet this person personally.
And that is what happens. That is exactly what happens. Or she goes out with us and she shows us, she knows Castries Central like the back of her hand. I'm so amazed at this woman. She would walk in the most dangerous place and not have a security guard with her. Never. And she had a security guard with her. So she knows her people. She knows even if they may put up an aggressive front, it is a mechanism that they had to create to live and to survive. But there is something beyond that, and she would reach beyond that, and that is how she gets to know them by name.
And it works. I mean, it works. Obviously, it works just from your stories and your experiences. And I believe your structure is a solid one. I can see that it works.
Indeed.
I mean, I saw all the video of you guys in terms of you'll have graduates, you'll have people who can really sell the story in terms of they being successful.
Yes, these are our success stories, and we will have more. Once she returns in her seat, we will have so many more success stories, and I'm looking forward to that. One of the stories that really touched me was the graduation for Trade Tech, which is one of the synergy programs we have. It's more for tradesmen, persons in the technical and mechanical field. We, in collaboration with the South Louis Community College, about 23 individuals, including 2 females, were able to get certified, in auto mechanics and in plumbing. And the graduation moved my heart, because a lot of these young people never had an opportunity to hold a certificate in their hand.
I never thought they would.
Say exactly, because so many people gave up on them, and they figured the age that they're at, who's gonna believe in me and give me a chance for me to study? And they just really didn't believe in themselves.
Well,
and then we had that graduation.
Right.
Big men cried, I'm telling you. Big men cried.
Nothing easy.
Yes.
Okay. I mean, it's wonderful to hear the work being done. It's wonderful to hear. I can hear the passion in you guys' voice. I'm glad that you're the ones doing what y'all are doing, because I honestly believe y'all are doing an amazing job and y'all will continue to.
You have to be called to this. It's not even a job. You cannot just get up a day and say, okay, you know what, I'm going to apply it and just go and work for synergy. No, you have to have a heart for people, because, like I said, we go beyond. We go all the way.
To make it work. Okay. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Okay, guys, we're about to go over to we're about to cross over to a commercial break. But before we do so, I have a question out for our viewers and our listeners. Last week, we had a young man here who came on as our guest, and we're actually awarding a $50 gift voucher if someone can let us know his name and his constituency. That's right, a $50 gift voucher to see who was really listening last week. So if you do have the answer, please give us a call. We will take your information once you are correct, and then we'll be delivering that to you. But again, I want to thank our lovely guests for coming in and speak to us about their constituency. I can see that they're down and ready to work for the next 5 years as well.
Hey, of course.
Definitely.
And it was honestly a pleasure speaking to you guys. Thank you so much.
Thank you. It was a pleasure.
Hi, my name is Anna and I am a proud team member of Synergy Gold. I am giving my client here a basic foot massage, stimulating her nerve endings, which would increase the blood circulation and it will help to reduce any fluid retention. So that's swollen ankles, swollen foot, and basically a light drainage technique that will go all the way up to her lymph nodes, and which will pass out, the toxins will pass out as urine or in a form of perspiration. I've been doing massage therapy for roughly 11 years, and when I met with the Honorable Minister, I expressed my passion in massage therapy, especially for disabled and elderly, and through that she gave me the opportunity to go to one of the massaging schools in Barbados and continuing my studies in massaging the elderly and disabled. It has been a pleasure working with the elderly and the disabled persons in the community of Castries Central.
You know what I like about Spider? When it comes to community development, he has honored the elderly and children, also has been delivering monthly hampers to the sick and vulnerable, and also every Wednesday he has the soup kitchen who delivers food to the less fortunate. That's the best representation, a minister that does what he says he will do.
As a young girl growing up in Gros Islet, I have seen what the minister has done for the past 5 years. Spider is for the youth and the betterment of the community. That's why Spider will get my vote.
Thank you for sticking with us and welcome back to Connected. Again, this is your host, Samari Arthur. I'm from the constituency of Babonneau, and we just had the pleasure of speaking to two lovely young ladies, Miss Renetta Billy and Chantal Julian from the constituency of Castries Central. They gave us a wonderful overview of just what's been going on and the opportunities available, as well as what young people can look forward to and what young people can tap into to become, to just to be able to chase their dreams, to follow their goals, and to do everything that can benefit them and their constituency. We heard about their programs, we heard about their activities, and we just want to say that we're extremely proud of what's going on. And hats off to the representative, the Honorable Sarah Flood-Bover, for everything that she's doing and continues to do. Right now we have our second guest here, and we're going to travel up north to the constituency of Gros Islet, largest constituency in St. Lucia, so we know she probably has a lot to talk about. But I'd like to welcome my guest, Miss Tisa Prosper from the constituency of Gros Islet, and she's going to be speaking with me for the next few minutes about everything that's going on in her constituency. Good afternoon, Miss Prosper.
Hello, thanks for having me.
Oh, yeah. Very, very welcome. So I want to give you an opportunity to introduce yourself and just tell us exactly what your impact is and what's your connection to the Gros Islet constituency.
Okay, so my name is Tisa Prosper. It's safe to say until now, I don't think I've really played so much of a big role. However, ever since I've been eligible to vote, I've always supported Mr. Montoute. Currently, I'm on the ground daily, canvassing, and that heavily involves campaigning for Mr. Montoute. So as such, this is my current role.
That's good. And I take it that you enjoy what you're doing.
Of course.
You look like a hard worker.
I'd like to think that I am.
Okay, that's good. I want you to share, I mean, we had the young ladies do it earlier, but because of the size of your constituency, there's a lot of places that get, I don't want to say forgotten, but people tend to not realize that you can go from end to end with Gros Islet. And you can really say that's true, there is part of there and there is part of there, and you can see the amount of work that Mr. Montoute has done. But I want you to give me an idea in terms of the lesser known the communities in your constituency, and just remind people of the different areas that you all serve right now.
Like you rightly said, our constituency is the largest constituency. Where can I start? Let's see. We have Monier, Asukanal, Piat, Degazo, Monsepa, Toussaint, Kaimaje, Ravin Makok, Karef, Vesikui, Norpe, Corinth, Marisil, Bonnet, Davi,
all the little ones in Moshi.
All the little ones in Moshi. We have Gros Islet, of course, everybody knows that. We have Ridley Park, Ridley Orchard. It extends itself as far as Shock Estates. If we were to, let's say, go back down to the north, we have Bellevue, Casaba. I mean, there are so many communities within the Gros Islet constituency. So if I had to list all of them, I don't think we would end there today.
Try to take over the rest of my show. But I want you to give me an idea in terms of how does Mr. Montoute, the Honorable Leonard Spal Montoute, how does he manage? Because it sounds like it can be a lot of work. And I can only trust that he has a group of great people around him, much as yourself. But I mean, from your perspective, how does he really manage? What are the steps that he takes, the structure that he puts in place to make sure that he manages his constituencies?
Our constituency, well, like you rightly said, is one of the biggest constituencies, and because of the type of person that Mr. Montoute is, he's a very humble person, very approachable, and as such, he puts himself out there, thus making himself, making it comfortable enough for people to be able to speak with him. He's a listener, he listens. Mr. Montoute goes to church. It doesn't matter what denomination. You could find him at Nazarene churches, Catholic churches, so he goes to church. He's out in the streets with the people. We have a weekly feeding program where we feed over 200 needy people. Mr. Montoute himself is out there in the fields feeding these people. I mean, given the type of society that we have right here in St. Lucia, you find the type of person that he is, he's so humble. He's out there reaching out to, regardless of the class, he's really one-on-one with the people. There you go. So he manages just fine because of that. He puts himself out there. and as such he's able to touch as many people as possible, just being out there, as opposed to basically or mainly sitting in office.
Right.
He puts himself out there.
Okay.
So yeah.
So he sounds like a parent to me with 15 children, and he's here trying to see how he can feed each one of them, give attention to each one of them, hear each one of their needs. I mean, I don't want to hope. I know for a fact that he has his point persons. He has his persons in the different areas who can say this needs to be done and that needs to be done. They come together, they plan, they strategize, and then they roll out a plan. But I can see currently there is a lot of work being done in Gros Islet, in almost all the communities, if not all of them. And I want people to understand that it cannot be easy. Like Miss Borez, like she said, her goal was to know everybody by name, and that's near impossible. Now you have somebody who's trying to feed, quote unquote, 1 million children at a time. So I can only hope he has everything that he needs. He puts things in place that he can make sure each one of them does not feel left out, and that each one of them understands that, hey, this is a man who is working, this is a man who knows exactly what to do, and this is a man who's going to continue to support and feed you. But I want you to give me an idea. I mean, this is a youth show. I can imagine that we have older persons listening, but I really hope that we have younger persons listening. We want to know how they were affected. What's their reaction to his work? What's going on specifically for young persons in the Gros Islet community, constituency?
I mean, there are so many things happening in the constituency for young people. Currently, we have programs where young people are able to gain certification from these programs and, get gainful employment from that. Right. Programs like electrical installation, plumbing. I mean, the feedback has been or the demand has been so great, and the level of interest is there. So much so that we have introduced new programs like welding and soon to be the repairs of boat sails and that sort of thing. We have the land rationalization program. Yes. Sorry about that, I'm a bit nervous.
No, it's okay.
So we have that program in place, and young people could now acquire property for themselves, and that's something a lot of young people are very interested in. So these are some of the programs that are happening currently that young people are benefiting from,
That's good.
Yeah.
I mean, I know young persons in the Gros Islet constituency, and one thing I know about them, Gros Islet people are loud, but not loud in the bad way. Loud in the terms of, you see, when they're having fun, you're going to know they're having fun, but also when they want something, you're going to know. So I can only imagine that it's no walk in the park dealing with so many young persons in such a big constituency. But it makes me feel better knowing that we have young persons who work with Mr. Montoute that can relate to the other young persons. That can say, well, maybe this would not really benefit young persons as much as we think. Maybe we should go this route. Maybe we should involve a few more young persons, have them come in, we can speak with them, we can throw out ideas and we can see what's going on. You said that you are canvassers. I mean, you're on the ground. You hear people's reactions.
Yes.
I'm going to ask you it from two different angles, because I want young person's reactions first, and then you can give me the general population and the older persons after. But what are young people saying to you?
The feedback has been positive. Like we have, as we've spoken before, Mr. Montoute basically is someone who says, whatever he says that he's going to do, he has delivered. And we get that feedback on the ground. People are happy. It's so heartwarming to hear and just, get that feedback from people. There are so many things, like we mentioned, in terms of the programs that are in place. Individuals are so excited and just happy to be benefiting from stuff like that. Right. They gain some sort of independence. Imagine being certified in a specific skill and being able to probably become a young entrepreneur just from having certified or gain that sort of skill that you did not have before, and you can now do something for yourself.
Or even find employment.
There you go. So we're out there in the fields and we get that from young people. They're super excited. Take for example the music lab that has recently been constructed.
Saw that.
Yeah. So I could just imagine with the way music is going right now, how many young people will be benefiting from that and how excited they are. you know. So the feedback has definitely been positive feedback, especially from young people. I mean, Mr. Montus is an experienced man.
Right.
You know, he's been there, he's doing the work, and it's there to show. You know, things that people asked for in various communities, they're getting it. And as such, when we out in the fields, the feedback that we get is definitely positive. Programs like let's just say the water development program in communities like Vesikri, Labon is at its phase 2. So just imagine young people in that community, how happy they are to be able to have pipe-borne water in their communities. You know, when we go out into these communities, from being young people, we're welcomed by them. They're happy. They're so elated because, you know, they have begged for these things. They've seen their parents suffer, and now these things have come to pass. So they're super, you know, excited. They're all heartwarming, welcoming. The praises are there, and so I can't complain. I can't say that we've had anything but positive feedback while we're out there.
And that's good. I think as any leader, what's good is your level of communication. The fact that somebody can talk to you, tell you what they need, and then you can come back and deliver. That's positive, that's progressive, and that's important as a leader. And we can see that Mr. Montud has really taken a step towards making sure that it's part of his day-to-day activities and his day-to-day plans. Even involving young persons in what he does. I mean, before you would find typically the older person is doing it, especially canvassers, because they tell you going out there to talk to people and to meet with people that you may or may not know. The longer the persons have been in the community, naturally the more persons they should know. So you'd find a lot of older persons doing it. But I can see, I mean, through yourself, there are young persons doing it as well. And the fact that they're getting young people involved, it also shines a positive light on politics and on the party as a whole. Young people do have a place in this party. Young persons do have a voice that they can say, I'm tired of this, we need this, and then you'll have somebody, much like your representative, who's going to come and follow through with that. That's important. And I think that's phenomenal to hear from a young person that he's doing so much for us young people. Now, the general populace, I mean, I'm not sure how much of Gros Islet that you personally got to cover, but just in terms of people's reaction, what the little whispers that Mr. Montud kind of go himself to hear and that you guys have to hear for him, and you bring it back to him, I can only imagine. What has been being said about him personally? Because I can imagine he does a lot of one-on-one in terms of reaching out to people and touching people. Yes. I've heard a lot of people say that this man is responsible for this in my community, this man is responsible for me to be able to do this. What are some of the opportunities that we're awarding young persons now, or people in general, in terms of what's available? What can they take part in?
There are so many things that people can take part in, both young and old. I'm happy that you mentioned, you know, Mr. Montud doing the one-on-one, and, you know, even us as a group of young people. We're out there, and like I mentioned, I can't say that there is anything negative. It has been strictly positivity. Mr. Montud's representation has been one you can't trust. He's set that example. You know, everything that he has promised that he's going to do, he has done. Take for example the Labon Road. We worked in Labon, and I mean, just imagine people kneeling down on a road telling you that they're happy that the minister has said he's going to do that road, and now they have a road. You know, in terms of programs, what programs are in place that people can participate and, you know, take part in and that kind of thing. Aside from the ongoing, as you mentioned, programs that they could get certified in and that sort of thing, we do hampers, distribution of hampers, vouchers and stuff to the needy, reaching out to the vulnerable. There, in terms of education, we have the award programs for the youth throughout the constituency. We have the sports academy. Individuals and youth that are interested in sports, you know, this is the school that they would go to. And I'm not sure if people are aware that the school actually houses these individuals, so you wouldn't have to transport from one community to another. You could basically reside at the school to participate in these things. There are a list of other things. I mean, he has a social media page where he puts everything on there. If individuals are interested, they can, you know, peruse those pages and find out what is available for them. And as we noted previously, because of the fact that the demand in specific courses was so high, we decided to introduce other courses, stuff like welding and I believe there should be one associated to customs in some sort of way. Because so many individuals are interested in, entrepreneurship and that sort of thing. And it's all geared towards bettering the livelihoods for young people. Yeah, so.
Okay, and that's important. I mean, one thing I was trying to really bring across in our very first episode is that young persons have the value. We've been given the value by our political leaders, by our representatives. We've been told that we have that value. And I can see slowly in different communities and different constituencies that young people recognize their worth. And now they put it in work, they're taking a benefit from it. So when you hear Mr. Montoute, Mr. Joseph, and Ms. Bobra as well, all focusing on things like sports, all focusing on academics, all focusing on self-development and youth empowerment, it's for our benefit as young people. And I just want for all young people to be able to take advantage of that and hit the ground running. I mean, most of us just need to start and we can go because we know exactly where we want to go. And I can hear through your programs and through your activities that we're really opening it up to young persons in terms of let us know what you want and we'll try to put it in place so that you can benefit, which is very good. I mean, I can only ask because I would imagine that you'll have an active youth group in the constituency. But if a young person wants to join the party, wants to join the youth division of the party, what can they go through? What are the measures that they can go through? What are the steps that they can take to be part of it?
There is avenues that one can go to if they were interested in joining the youth arm. We have a website. We're all over social media, Facebook, Instagram, and I'd probably suggest one becoming a volunteer at first. And probably take it from there once you've joined.
Okay.
Yeah, so probably the website first off, social media. A lot of young people are really attracted to social media.
Naturally.
So social media for sure. And thereafter, you could become a volunteer and take it from there, grow with us.
Okay. I mean, we are fairly close in terms of constituencies, and just like Castries Central was earlier, we've experienced it a few times where we meet up and we link up with different constituencies and we try to do as much community work and youth programs as possible. I can only hope that as our individual constituencies, as young persons, and that goes across country, that across our island, that we can come together and understand what each other does. If Gros Islet has a great idea that we need to put in place in Bavano, that we can do so. I'm pretty sure that the ministers, they do it all the time. They meet up in their closed chambers. They have their discussions. Young persons need to be able to do that as well. So I can only hope that some of the things that you guys have implemented, that it is written down and that you can send it to us, so that we can implement and we can always do the same. But I do believe that young persons need to really take advantage of all the opportunities, and it does seem like in Gros Islet there is a lot available for them.
Of course, something that I've always said to people, I mean, if you're interested in something, you put yourself out there to find out, how you can benefit from something. The information is out there, especially on social media, because we know this is how youth, connect through social media.
Right.
So as long as people are interested, the website is available. We're welcoming people.
As well as the constituency office, right?
Constituency office. The constituency office is open daily, with the exception of Wednesdays because the minister is out. Likewise, staff members, we're out in the communities feeding people and that sort of thing. So it's open Monday to Friday from 9 to 4:30.
Okay, so at least everyone knows now, if you are in the constituency of Gros Islet, 9 to 4:30, except on a Wednesday, that you have full access to not only the minister, but the persons around him, the persons who can get to him, the persons who can really get the ball rolling in anything that you feel needs to take place in your community and your constituency. Ms. Prosper, I want to thank you so much for joining us today. You've done a great job in terms of painting Gros Islet in a proper yellow light and really stepping up for your minister. By your words, we can see that he's doing an amazing job, and by our power as young persons, we'll make sure that he continues to do so.
Definitely.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for having me.
Oh, it was definitely a pleasure. Okay, so we are going to go to a commercial break to allow us to wrap up, and then we're going to step right into some important points that us as young people need to understand and need to take full cooperation on. So just give us a few minutes and we'll be back with Connected.
in terms of Mr. Leonard Spider Montoot, I strongly believe he has been trying his utmost best when it comes to Gros Islet. I strongly and honestly believe that Spider has been doing his utmost best, and his colleagues as well, they're trying to put all the efforts into his part where they did there with him, Spider. And I will say in general, the UWP government has been trying the best.
For change, for development, for leadership, Spider Montoot 2021, that's the way to go. Gucci said so.
Okay, and we are back with Connected. We just got the privilege of speaking to Tisa Prosper from Gros Islet, and she was letting us know about all the programs and the different initiatives that's going on in the constituency. Also, she wanted us to mention that the very impressive web walks and the health fairs that Mr. Montoot has been doing to make sure that he reaches out to the persons of his constituency, and they know that they, just like our program is called, that they remain connected with him. So thank you so much to our three guests, our three young ladies who came in today and had the opportunity to really relay that information and let young persons know exactly what's going on in their constituency. Thank them. So last week, we spoke about three major topics. We spoke about voting, we spoke about why voting is important, and also why not voting has just as much of an impact that we may not be taken into consideration. And I want to just slightly return to that point for our young persons. You have a voice, you have a power, you have an authority, you have a decision-making advantage. You have something that you can use to say that I am a St. Lucian, I am an adult, and I am part of this population. And it's important that we understand that we cannot let that go by. We cannot let that just be taken for granted, and we need to be able to exercise it. But there is also another thing that we did not speak about. I mean, before you can vote, there is a process that you need to go through. I mean, you need to make sure you're eligible. You need to make sure that you qualify to vote. And that's why we have this up on the screen right now. And we're just going to leave it up there while I just give a few words on them. But persons who qualify. A person shall be qualified to be registered as an elector in an electoral district only if on the qualifying date he or she is a person who is a citizen of St. Lucia or a Commonwealth citizen who has resided continuously in St. Lucia for not less than 7 years immediately preceding the qualifying date. Also 3, that person has to have attained the age of 18 years. Also, that person has to have resided continuously in that electoral district for a period of at least 2 months preceding the qualifying date. So I want you to understand that any assistance that you also need, as you can see on the screen, any assistance of registering to vote, please contact the numbers. The email address is on the website. The number is 4514949. The email address is uwp1964@gmail.com. and the website www.uwpstlucia.com. So I want you to understand your right to vote is something that you've earned. It's not something that anybody can have. It's not something that you can just come and you can just have. It's really something that you've earned as a St. Lucian. Also, there are requirements to obtain the new national ID card, because people complain, well, I don't have an ID card, and it's essential that you need a form of identification to vote. So we can see here on screen that the requirements to do so is 1 for nationals, that you need your birth certificate and a national insurance card, and for non-nationals you need your birth certificate, your national insurance card, and the certificate of citizenship from the Ministry of Home Affairs. And again, for any assistance in registering to vote, you can contact 4514949, you can go to the uwpstlucia.com page, or you can email uwp1964@gmail.com, and they'll provide all the assistance and give you all the answer all the questions that you have. Now let's say the issue is that you had a name change and that it needs to be registered. This will affect you in terms of your ability to vote. Now what you would need to do, so if you need to get it rectified, you need your identification card, your national insurance card, and an original document showing the change of name, the birth certificate, your marriage certificate, deed poll, affidavit, anything like that. That would be an official document for you. And you bring in these documents to make sure that you are putting yourself in the right position, that you are registering to vote. And again, I cannot reiterate more. For assistance, you know exactly who to call, 451-4949. You know exactly who to email, uwp1964@gmail.com, and you know exactly where to go at uwpstlucia.com. Lastly, we have a change of address. This is also another issue that people may face. It's similar to the change of name. You need your identification card, your national insurance card, but in this case you need a utility bill for the last 3 months prior to application for change as proof of address. Also keep in mind, a verification of the residence will be carried out by our verification team. The number, the email address, and the website are on screen for any assistance that you need. Now let's say the case is that you've lost your identification card. What you would need is a statutory document, form signed by a justice of the peace or notary royal, 2 passport size photos, $5 stamp affixed to the form, and $100 replacement fee to be paid at the Treasury Department, so that you can solve the problem of your lost identification card. Also, as I said, any assistance, the information, our contact is on the screen, and you can always reach out to us. We will do everything to make sure that you are ready to vote and that you are registered. And you can see just how important it is just through everything that we have to do to make sure that you are registered. Also, you can always visit your constituency office. Information, help, assistance will be offered to you there as long as it is available. You can visit one of our offices in your constituency, and they will do everything that they have to do to make sure that you are registered. I want to remind our listeners and our viewers of a few things that I think they need to keep in mind, and they need to keep. You will hear me continuously remind you of this because I think it's important. One is to let us vote for the United Workers' Party because they govern, they protect, they lead, and they manage our country and also its people. And that's important. You need someone who can do each one of these things, and you put them in a position to do it, and then you watch your country grow, you watch your country develop. We also need to vote for them because they have better our quality of life, not just now, but also for the future. And also the administration of the United Workers' Party has shown that they have the best constituency representation. We heard from the young persons who we bring on our shows. We heard from the persons in the streets that they are honestly very happy and they're very proud of their representative and the representation that they get from the United Workers' Party. So it's very important that we keep that in mind, that we recognize that that is one thing that we are really good at, and that we continue to drive it home and remind persons of those. Now, I'm sure that was a lot for people to take in. I hope that you got the information. I hope that you got the numbers, the email addresses, and the websites. And I need everybody to make a special effort to make sure that they are registered, they are eligible to vote, and that they continuously are putting themselves in the best position to continue to have a say in the impact and the growth of our economy and our country, St. Lucia. To allow you all to let that sink in, we're going to go to our commercial break right now. But please stay tuned for our last segment of Connected coming up soon.
Hello everyone, I'm Norbert Williams, right here on Sky FM 93.1. Join me Monday to Friday, 6 a.m. to 8 a.m. for the morning edition of Keeping It Real. And on Tuesdays and Fridays, Minerva Ward joining me from Canada, right near the North Pole. Although it's cold over there, it's gonna be hot in here. Don't you forget, Monday to Friday, 6 a.m. to 8 a.m. on GVD TV and streaming live on Facebook. Don't you miss it.
Hello, welcome to the program Something in the Morning with yours truly, your favorite guy, Champagne. Join me here every morning from 8 a.m. until 12 noon. We're also live on GBD channel 115 and live stream on the internet. Join me as we discuss all of the current events of our beautiful country and around the world. You too could get into the program by calling in 456-0931 or 485-0931. Thank you for tuning in. Join me 8 a.m. to 12 noon.
For the future, restoring the pride. It's yours and it's mine. Let's do this together. Preserve for the future. Yeah, sweet Beatles, nothing like you. So iconic on this beautiful island. Yeah, we adore you, so we will protect you. So your beauty can be seen by all eyes.
Let me just remind you guys, for those who did not have the chance to, it's okay, we have it on the screen. For any assistance that you may have, our number 451-4949, our email address uwp1964@gmail.com, as well as our website www.uwpstlucia.com. Any assistance as it comes to those qualifying to vote, those trying to renew their documentation, trying to renew their identification, or just finding out if you're registered, you can always reach out to any one of these platforms and we will provide all the assistance that you need to make sure that you are registered and that you're in a good position. And we're back with Connected. I want to thank you guys who have stayed on. Thank you to our viewers and our listeners on Facebook, on YouTube, and those listening over radio. We appreciate you taking the time out to hear what these young people have to say, and especially to those who are our young persons also. We appreciate the fact that you are listening and that you have an opinion as to everything that's going on in the country. Last week on our first episode, we had the first instant of what we call our WhatsApp Chronicle, which is basically a message that was sent through from a young person on the issues that they have that they would like us to speak about. And apparently young persons were listening to our last topic, because the message that we got this time has to do with everything that we brought up last week. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to read the message, and then we're going to have just a minor discussion on exactly what the person was saying and what we can do going forward. So the message is, and please pardon my slang, I'm trying to really bring across the person's picture and read it as they sent it. So y'all come in there on show talking about why voting is important and story. So how when I go and vote, I should look at how things have changed from the time the government started representing us. Well, I don't see any changes in our education system. It is the same old thing from when my parents went to school. So tell me, what has the UWP government put in place for education, because I really want to know. First off, I really appreciate that people are listening. I honestly, if I was just going to sit down here and talk for 2 hours and nobody else listening to me, I don't know what I would do. So I really appreciate the fact that people are listening. Thank you very much. And I also appreciate the fact that persons have an interest in our society and in our education system. a lot of the times, especially for young persons, they don't see the true value of education until they need it, or until they pass the point where they realize, I really should have done that. And I can honestly say that I think our party has done a wonderful job in terms of pushing education and really trying to show the benefits and the importance to them on how education stands in the country. So I want to read an extract of, I want it to be as verbatim as possible, because I don't want it to be said that this is Amari's words, but I believe that this is the party speaking. So the UW, let me just read something for you guys. In 2016, our schools were crumbling before our eyes. Now the UW sees education as providing the platform to enable all citizens of St. Lucia to attain their full human potential. For them, education constitutes an investment in our people, in our future, in our human capital towards the creation of new St. Lucia, and where we are committed to building. The party recognizes education as a basic human right, a fundamental ingredient for tackling problems of poverty and the foundation for achieving the wider political, economical, and cultural, as well as social goals that we have set for our country. Our education system should therefore provide relevant education to produce worthy citizens in St. Lucia. So as a sensible government would, there was an increase in the yearly budget on school repairs from $1 million to $10 million per year. Now with such a budget, the UWP administration achieved amazing things in school, including new buildings, new wings, new furniture, and investing in technical subjects like technical drawing by implementing TE labs for our learners. Hopefully in the next 2 to 3 years, St. Lucia will be producing top-of-the-line qualified architects. That could have been a mouthful, I can imagine, for some persons. But it is not that, it is unfair to say that nothing is being done. We understand just how important and just how relevant education is in our country, and I'm 100% sure that those that are in charge right now, the person that we put to represent us, the person that we believe know what they're doing and have been doing a good job, they also see the importance of education. We can see it in our schools, in the rehabilitation of schools, the constant cleaning and fixing, the money allocated to it, the time allocated, the importance that it is given, that we have an administration, we have a government who understands the importance of education. I mean, look at how many schools that we have prospering throughout the island, whether it be on a common entrance, whether it be on a CXC level. They are important aspects that have been, or important resources that have been fueled towards the economical and the development as well of the educational sector. So we as young persons need to be able to take advantage of that. We as citizens of St. Lucia need to be able to take advantage of that and really say that there are things in place and we are going to do what we need to do to make sure that we take advantage of these opportunities, of these openings that we do have available for us. I mean, heavy investment has been made in terms of sports, and many will say it falls hand in hand in terms of direct academic education. But look at the fact that in Gros Islet now we have a sports center. We have something that's solely dedicated to the educational aspect as well as the practical aspect of sports in St. Lucia, whether it be developing our national athletes so that they are qualified not only on the fields but also in the classrooms to go out and represent and to further themselves. We can see a government who has been doing this, who understands the importance, and who is going to put the resources necessary into our young persons and into our island as a whole, just into our island. I mean, we have investments that I can list for you. We have the heavy investment in sports on the island. We have the increased feeding program in schools to double its original amount, increasing the transportation programs for secondary school students and SALCC learners, increasing the bursary assistance to new secondary schools after common entrance, distribution of 8,000 tablets to secondary school students and teachers, along with over 4,000 Wi-Fi devices for those who did not have it previously. I mean, the list can go on, and it's completely unfair for anybody to think that there is nothing being done towards our educational sector. The fact is, you can go into any classroom right now and you can see the impact for yourself. You can see the students who are who are trying to take a keener interest in their own development. You can see the teachers who have shown that they care, and you can see that the physical resources, whether it be the tablets, the books, the bursaries, the foods that are being injected and implemented into our schools to ensure that our kids, to ensure that our future, as it is rightfully said, is well suited, is well able to do exactly what they're supposed to do and prosper. These are the people who are going to be taking over St. Lucia. These are the people who are going to be the driving force in our labor. These are the people who we're literally going to depend on to continue with St. Lucia. And I honestly appreciate the fact that someone is listening and they have a keen interest in education. I hope that that person can even call in and we can have a discussion. That person can tell me exactly what they think more can be done, and that we can continue for that. We can continue going forward. I mean, we have the representative, we have I don't want to say we have the resources, but we have the need for the resources, and we have the places that we put them where we know exactly what we need to do. So I'm really thankful for that person who chimed in and let us know exactly what they were thinking. Hopefully people can continue to do so, either via our WhatsApp platform or to call in themselves. But as for now, I want to thank everyone who has logged into the program. Thank you for everyone who listened. We are going to go to a short commercial break, and then we'll be returning to Connected in just a second. Thank you.
In the past, we've had our differences, but our differences can mend and has mended for the unity of Gros Islet, for the future of Gros Islet. I am Flabo. I am happy to be back home.
My Flabo is on power. Gros Islet is better with Spider.
What we are engaged with this morning is that a group of us have decided to come together to do some cleanup in the Masad area, and this is all in an effort to keep our environment clean and to ensure that the place aesthetically looks beautiful, is kept clean. And at the same time, we are hoping that people will see our efforts and begin to develop more of a consciousness about keeping the environment clean. Let us not forget, when we dispose of our garbage indiscriminately, you clog drains. Also, it pollutes our ocean, because much of the debris, much of the garbage ends up in the sea. And so, generally speaking, I think it's in our best interest to have our community, our environment kept as pristine as possible.
Growing up in Gros Islet, I have seen what the minister has done for the past 5 years. Spider is for the youth and the betterment of the community. That's why Spider will get my vote.
Okay, and welcome back to Connected. Again, here with your host, Samara Arthur from the constituency of Babonneau. And before we left off, we were actually speaking on the education sector and everything that's going on for education. I forgot to mention to me a very important and key part, that many may say we're going through or are going or still going through a pandemic. And it wasn't nice to our educational sector. You realize that a lot of people were forced to stay home, and this took learning from face to face into a virtual platform. So these 8,000 tablets that we received and the 4,000 MiFi devices, they were necessary. They were not just necessary, they were needed. I want to really drive that home. We would not be able to go through what we went through without these devices. And it took somebody with a keen interest in education and a keen eye to understand exactly what's going on in the country to be able to predict and say we need to make this investment, we need to forward these resources, because a lot of our younger persons who attend school, whether it be that they did not have a device or that device was not suitable for schooling, it was still necessary. We could not we could not simply just settle for saying, well, we cannot go to school, learning is going to stop. It affected the entire world, and almost everyone had to do the same thing in terms of think outside the box, think of a different way to do it that was going to work in that situation, and that may continue to work even in a better situation. And I mean, the tablets that were given, we can only imagine the benefits that it really had, and the good that it really did in terms of teachers still being able to reach out to their students still being able to take in the information from the teachers. It got to the point where students still had to write exams. So the information was easier captured because, I mean, maybe some students had a problem writing notes, taking notes. Now you have the information saved on a device where you can continuously go back to it. You can reflect, you can revise at the touch of your butt. It's really that simple. That's the life that we live in, and that's the world that we survive in right now. It seems that we're having a call. Good afternoon, caller.
Hello?
Hello, hi, good afternoon. Welcome to Connected.
Hi. So just wanted to say, it's not just the tablets and laptops, but the fact that school bursary moved, well, not school bursary, but money for schools actually moved from 1 million to 10 million. So that must say something, okay? That must say something. Also, we can see that infrastructure. Look at the Denny Infant School is rebuilt, as well as the Denny Daycare, and also the renovation of the Clinton Miss Memorial Secondary School. So I just want to say kudos to the government as well as Mr. Edmund Estefan.
Right, and you're very right. Much praise is needed indeed towards him and all the representatives who've taken a special interest in our education sector and doing what they need to do. Thank you so much for that contribution, because you are right, that jump from 1 million to 10 million is nothing easy, and it takes a proper government to understand that investment needed to be made. So thank you so much for reiterating that point.
You're welcome.
Thank you so much. Do have a special education.
Alright.
Thank you so much. Okay, and there you have it. We have someone who oh, it seems like we have another caller. Hello, caller. Good afternoon. Welcome to Connected.
Good evening.
Yes.
I think so you know, you have to have some respect. You could actually stand up and what is there. As another young, I think you have to.
You're breaking up a little. We're not hearing you clearly. Could you repeat that?
Hello, are you here?
Yes, we're hearing you now.
A young man, for you to for this region and for the government, you know, I think you really have reevaluate yourself. A young man.
I'm not hearing you clearly. I'm sorry. You seem to be breaking up.
It's okay. You get the list from the back.
If that caller was listening, well, I'm pretty sure he's listening, and he can always call back. We didn't get much from what he said, but I can only hope that he was implying to the fact that we do have a lot that we need to be thankful for. Also, like the caller was mentioning, there was the construction of the new Shojel Secondary School. I have a list that I can go down: the commencing and establishing smart classrooms within school across the island, the increase of numbers of scholarships available by 100%. We understand, right? We understand that our government has taken a position where they cannot target or specifically focus on one level of education. But at the same time, with different levels of education, there's different work that you can do, different help you can provide. So whether it comes to the secondary school students, where we can provide them with the tablets, the tertiary, where we can provide them with the bursaries and the books needed, what's about past that? And they have not left that out. We have the scholarships that's available for you to go overseas and continue to further your education. We have even the job opportunities that they post daily to allow persons to continuously develop themselves. It's nothing that you left in the dark at a certain point, or that you're always by yourself when you're trying to do something. No, the case is that we have somebody right now who cares about us at every level. Just like our guest from Castries Central said, they are there with you all the way and until the very end where you need to be, where you decide that you're successful enough or that you're comfortable enough to do it on your own. There was the construction of the Moshi Early Childhood Development Center, as well as one in Jacmel and in Miku. Brings us back to the point that I was just saying. It's not one level that we're focusing on. We're really bringing it from the highs to the lows, where we see that everything that we need to focus on is important. The UWP administration, they did not just construct buildings. Let me read this to you. We had training opportunities and scholarships were provided for early childhood sector. One can consult the early childhood unit for more information in the Ministry of Education in that interested field. What's very important is that the information is there, the opportunities are there, and the things that we need to do, they are there. And the sad thing is that a lot of people do not realize that it's up to you as a person, as an interested individual, to reach out and to take advantage of the opportunities that you're given and the things that you can do. We are now trying to implement smart schools and smart blocks in a lot of the schools, and that goes without saying that that's not something that had to happen. It's something that we're choosing to do so because we understand exactly the direction that the world is going into, and we have an administration that also does that. I'm pretty sure it's not them Googling it. I'm pretty sure it's not them searching or sitting down and wondering. It's persons coming to them. It's young persons like you and me who are saying, we need this, this could help, and this would be a good idea for us to do, and we would really benefit from that. I mean, there is the new wings at the Gordon and Walcott Methodist and Vidbute primary schools are being built. The existing structures will be transformed into a smart school. It shows that we have work in progress. It's not something that we did and we stopped or we going to do in the future. All these things are in progress now, and like we said, 5 more years, no change required. These things are going to take effect. These things are going to be widespread. These things are going to impact as many people as it can, so that we can continuously grow as a country, continuously develop as young persons. Construction, there was a construction of a new smart block for the Miku Secondary School and establishing smart classrooms throughout the schools on island. A lot of people may not even understand what that is, but it's something that you should look into. Most likely in your constituency, there's going to be an effect taken. There's going to be things implemented where you're going to come across these things, you're going to see it happening, and you're going to want to benefit from it. What we have to do is, we really have to be open to it. I mean, it's technology, it's something that we may not be familiar with, but it's something that we have to really be part of and take advantage of. Just one last thing I want to read to our viewers and our listeners. On Wednesday, April 7th, 2021, the Ministry of Education reported that plans begun for construction of Lage Primary School. The project is being undertaken at a cost of some $7.5 million, and that's an investment into our nation's children. The new Lage Primary School being built will comprise a basement, ground floor, and top floor. The top floor will house 4 classrooms, a library, IT laboratory, and a music room. The ground floor will house 4 classrooms, a sick bay, the staff room, and the principal's office. And the basement will house an open breezeway, male and female washroom facilities, and a janitorial storage area. Of course, I'm from Babano, so knowing something like that is being done in my community, it gives me all the confidence that I need in my representative, in Honorable Ezekiel Joseph, and also our Prime Minister. You can go on Facebook, you can see the work that is being done. If you follow us on the different social media pages as well as Instagram, you can also see that work is being done. And if you just take a walk around your constituency, I'm 100% sure that you can see more work is also being done there. But what's important is that we have an administration right now who understands exactly what they need to do. They are prioritizing what needs to be done and what's important. They are listening, very important, they are listening to us young persons and to us constituency members, and they have been performing. And all we can do is give them a further opportunity to continue to do so. Again, 5 more years, no change required. For all of our viewers and our listeners today, I want to thank you to our guests who came in. I want to thank you to the young persons who've been tuned in, the persons who messaged, the persons who called. I want to thank you all. This has been a wonderful experience to sit down and really speak to you guys and feel the connection, which is the name of the program. I do believe it's important that more young persons participate and people call in so that we can have these discussions and really get other people's ideas and opinions. But I want to thank you for tuning in with me and also ask you to look out for our next week episode. We will be live on air again at 4 p.m. right here on Sky FM. Thank you so much for those who tune in today, and I hope you guys really do have a wonderful rest of your weekend. Thank you.
Hello everyone, I'm Norbert Williams, right here on Sky FM 93.1. Join me Monday to Friday, 6 a.m. to 8 a.m. for the morning edition of Keeping It Real. And on Tuesdays and Fridays, Minerva Ward joining me from Canada, right near the North Pole. Although it's cold over there, it's gonna be hot in here. Don't you forget, Monday to Friday, 6 a.m. to 8 a.m. on GVD TV and streaming live on Facebook. Don't you miss it.
Hello, welcome to the program Champagne in the Morning with yours truly, your favorite guy, Champagne. Join me here every morning from 8 a.m. until 12 noon. We're also live on GVD channel 115 and live stream on the internet. Join me as we discuss all of the current events of our beautiful country and around the world. You too could get into the program by calling in 456-0931 or 485-0931. Thank you for tuning in. Join me 8 a.m. to 12 noon.
And it's mine. Let's do this together. Preserve for the future. Restoring the pride. It's yours and it's mine. Let's do this together. Preserve for the future. Yeah, sweet Beatles, nothing like you. So iconic on this beautiful island. Yeah, we adore you, so we will protect you. So your beauty can be seen by all eyes.
Join the United Workers' Party and the Flubbo family for another in the series of live Flubbo forums this Sunday, 13th June at 7 p.m. Join us live on DBS, Hot FM, GVD TV, Sky Radio.